So, episode 2 of She-Hulk. Now, this is a show that I have to be honest with you guys. Like, I've thought about this show going into it thinking, okay, all right, it's gonna be like a sitcom size episodes, 9 of them instead of like the 6 we've been getting. It's gonna be nice and it's gonna be a sitcom like thing. There's gonna be jokes, it's gonna be hilarious and blah blah blah. But guess what? Disney's doing the same thing that they've been doing for a long time, and that's shortchanging its fans. This episode 2 was basically, it was like half an episode. Like you start watching it, you're in the thick of things. You're like, all right, like we're on the treadmill here. We're going some places here. Like you turn it up from 1 to 2. Okay, the heart rate's pumping up a little bit, and then all of a sudden, bam, like you're done. It's the end of the show, and the credits roll, and like I'm like, the amount of money they're spending on the credits and all the fancy credits that they show, why can't they put that money into like the show itself? Give us like, I'm not asking for much.
Wow.
Give me like 2 minutes more. Buy me some time. I don't care about the montage that you gave us and after the credits. The post-credit scene was basically useless. And the whole thing is with the She-Hulk character, like the CGI. I'm like, stop animating the shit out of that character for like a 1 minute post-credit scene that basically nobody should be caring for, because all it is she's doing chores around the house that her parents are taking advantage of her being like a Hulk now. And like instead, just give me like 3 more minutes in the actual show before the credits roll. Is that too much to ask?
Heard it.
And
you heard it, Disney. Give Daniel 2 more minutes.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like if I started eating this. Oh, sorry, not advertising. I was eating this, and somebody just took this away from me after taking 1 bite. Gone. That's what this show feels like. There's like this certain
thing. They play
thing.
with your emotions.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Now I'm eating and talking. Whatever. You know what? This show deserves that. Here's the thing. There's a difference between leaving your audience asking for more and swallowing. Okay. Don't want to choke on this. And there's a difference between like leaving an audience asking for more and leaving them dissatisfied, because that's what I feel like. The first episode was better than this. This wasn't written very well. There's a ton of Easter eggs. I mean, I like some of the comedy in there. The CGI though, my God, we talked about this in episode 1.
Like, what is going on with the CGI in this?
Okay, so Brian, because you put some of this together, like some of the content that we were throwing up on the screen. So episode 1, right? The CGI, it looked pretty good for the most part. Like, the Hulk CGI is great, but then even like the She-Hulk CGI for the most part was passable, if not on par with the Hulk, right? Like you see some of these shots here, she looks fairly photoreal, but also like when she's sitting next to the Hulk and the whole scene is animated, there's less like real stuff happening in the shots, so it's easier to like believe that she's as real. But in this episode now, in episode 2, basically like every time you see the Hulk, like see She-Hulk, she's with like live action characters, and the animation looks animated. The CGI of the character is not as good. It looks like they didn't get enough time to work on it, because clearly what they did with episode 1, if they had more time or they put more effort or whatever they needed to do, they could have made this just as good. And episode 1 had a few shots that didn't look very good, but overall it was good. Overall it was passable to great, like I said. But this episode, not so much. They needed more time to work on this. And one of the last Easter eggs I wanted to pass along here was they had Hulk basically in that Sakarian ship, assuming going to Sakaar, and maybe they're hinting at Planet Hulk or something to that effect. Great, I'll go for that, whatever. But other than that, I have to be honest with you guys. 2 episodes into this, I am not so sure if I want to maybe I want to bank some of these episodes now. I don't know if I want to be watching that every week, because there's just not enough happening. And I say that, but then again, Daredevil might show up in episode 3, and then I'm like, I'm back into this thing. But still, I don't know. I feel like these episodes need to be longer, or make it a movie. Like,
there's also enough of good content coming out. Sorry, Brian.
I feel,
was
no,
just
it's
saying
just
there's enough of good content.
I was
Right.
just gonna say like breaking the fourth wall seems to be like the new thing nowadays. Like
She doesn't
it's
even
just-
do it very well. I feel like the
Yeah.
breaking the fourth wall in episode 1 was so much better, and there were only a couple of instances, and then in this one, almost every time she does it, it just didn't work. I mean, again, subjectively speaking, my opinion, it just didn't work. I didn't like the fourth wall breaks in this episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Game.
Who's stronger, Daniel? Hulk or She-Hulk?
I honestly could not tell you. I think they're different. One of them has been a Hulk a lot longer. I don't know what their actual power levels are. Just because she's more naive about her powers now doesn't mean she's not as capable as a Hulk. But they're purposefully leaving it vague, and I'm fine with that. But anyway, look, here's the thing. If you guys have watched the show and you like the show, tell us about it. If you hate the show just as much as, well, I wouldn't say I hate it. Hate is a strong word. But I'm not enjoying it as much as I would want to. Let us know in the comments below what you think about it so far. And you know, if you're gonna be watching this weekly, or if you're gonna be banking a few episodes, or like just waiting till the whole thing is done airing, tell us. We would love to hear your thoughts because you've heard ours.
But meanwhile, Disney, give Daniel 2 more minutes. And yeah,
2 more minutes,
credits
5
sequence
more
worse.
minutes, whatever you can spare. You know,
Give
please.
me more.
Come on, Disney.
30 minutes with credits. Come on, that's like 20 minutes. That's a sitcom, but the sitcom is a beginning, middle, and end. This episode just felt like they went from chapter 1, like act 1 to act 1.5, and like cut it. And it didn't even say to be continued at the end of the episode. How dare they?
Unacceptable.
Exactly.